Good evening. Good evening, guys. So let's start the session. Am I audible?
Yes.
Prem.
Okay, so I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, if I'm audible, you can say yes. Maybe a mic issue my side. I'm not able to listen your voice.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, so let me just share my screen and we'll so yesterday, what we are doing, like I was just explaining about I explained you yesterday about uh, a little bit about GraphQL, and the last it was about the multilingual or adding language. So the one topic was pending, that was about. Let me first share my screen. So that was about the uh, Sitecore context item. Okay, so we'll see what is the Sitecore context and what is the use of this and how we are getting the context item to the component. Okay, and how we write what are the hooks we use to get the context item into the Sitecore. Okay, so let me show you the Sitecore part. Let me go inside the Sitecore and we'll see. So we have the application JSS Cloud. Okay, if I have to get the context item of this, like suppose a home page, so context can be maybe the details about this home page and maybe what other things we get with this home page, like maybe its layout details, maybe its language, maybe it's the language or maybe its versions, right? And what are the components we have in this language. So those things generally comes under the context. Okay, so or maybe the metadata of the particular page or routes. Okay, those come inside the context. Okay, so Satcore has two the Satcore hooks, Satcore JavaScript hooks in terms of fetching the context of the Sitecore from the Sitecore CMS. So we'll see those and we'll use both context hooks into the components, and we'll see how we are getting the data. Okay, so let me show you one so that you can understand. So if I tell you one context is use Sitecore context, this is the one context. I mean, through this context, what we get the details about the page, and the details about the component, what the component we get. I mean, it's about the context means, as I told you, like maybe the information about this page. Okay, I mean the maximum possible. I mean what this home page is returning. So that's the context is. Okay, so if you want to get the context item of the any page, then in the JSS, then what we use the this use Sitecore context hook. Okay, so we'll quickly see like how we can use the context item into the Sitecore. Okay, so we'll see and we'll try to figure out like how we can do that. Okay, so we'll create a normal component, and we'll try to fetch the context item from the Sitecore. So from the Sitecore, what are the things in the context comes, like maybe it's ID, maybe it's language, maybe it's the route name, maybe page name, or maybe some other details like maybe its language version. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just use this context and we'll console log it, and we'll see the possible data we are getting from the context. Okay, so that you can see what are the things we are getting from the Sitecore context. Okay, the another one is we have with context. So let me show if I have implemented that one. Okay, so there I have implemented like metadata.tsx. Okay, so there is the hook like a with Sitecore context. Okay, so from the with Sitecore context, what are the things we are able to face? We are able to face, I mean, every data that belongs to that page. I mean the fields. I mean fields of that that item. Suppose if I'm going back to the Sitecore, so if I have to fetch the this fields data, and be every fields that appearing inside this this home page, so those we can fetch through the with context data. And from the Sitecore context data we can fetch like the Sitecore item, language name, its version, I mean how many version, how many language versions there. Okay, so that kind of things comes inside the Sitecore context. And with context we can normally get the it's the route fields or maybe page fields, every possible fields. Mostly we use the with context to get the metadata from the page. Okay, so we'll see like how we are doing. Okay, so and before covering it, I mean I mean, so it's supposed to be our last day of the session, but there is one more thing we have to cover. So on Monday and Tuesday, so Monday and Tuesday will be last. Okay. So on Monday, what we will do is I will just show you how we can make a complete one page so that you can have an idea. So what we are going to do, we are we are going to okay, we'll make a header, we'll make a header, we'll make a, you know, the banner, we'll make a footer section. Okay, we'll make a content section. Okay, so this is how like we are going to make it, so that you know you can understand like how um, so it will be something like this. Okay, so this is one page that we are going to design. Like we will use a one logo, then this, you know, the navigation, then banner, then like these things will render. Okay, in the right side it will be some blog pages and the footer data. So on Monday, I will just show you quickly how we can make a one page so that you can have a complete idea. Like, I mean, how we can make up, you know, at least a page. Okay, so you will have a complete idea like how we can make a page. On Tuesday, what I'll do is I'll just cover some of the things, maybe how we can make a project in React, how we can make a project in Angular. Okay, so I'll just share you the articles and I'll just explain you. So it's similar like, you know, the we are creating the application in Next.js. And on the Tuesday, the second thing I am going to also explain you about, I'll explain you a little bit about, you know, the personalization and you know, CDP. You must know like what kind of personalization in CDP is possible with the XP and with the XM Cloud. Okay.
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 So let's continue. Uh, okay. So what I'll do is let me make a new page here, and we'll try that from that page. Okay. So this about then contact. There must be like a gallery. Sorry, it must be a blog. Okay. So I create one blog page. Let me quickly publish it. So if I access now the blog like this, so I'll get nothing because we don't have anything here. Okay. So what we'll do now is we'll quickly you know, make something here. I will make a components, and after that we'll add the components here. So what are the components we are going to add? So components will make a simple component, and we are going to use the hook. So one hook will be Sitecore context hook. I will use let me in the Sitecore hooks. Sitecore hooks. One is going to be use Sitecore context. Second one is going to be a with context. Okay. So let's start with this one, Sitecore, use Sitecore context. Okay. So for that, what we'll do is first of all, what we'll do, we'll just create a simple uh, component here. So let me just create a component. What I can do is I'll come here in a component, right click, make a new file. I'll make a like a uh, blog blog page context. Use sc context .tsx. So I created a component like a use context component. Okay. Similar component we will directly make in the just I mean we have to make a one component, I mean JSS component. Sorry, JSON component. We have to make a JSON component here. We created a JSX component here. So similar JSON rendering component we have to create. So sorry, I have to go here. Let me go to the rendering. In the rendering, what I'll do is I'll just create. I'll go to the project. Inside the demo set, I'll create. Inside the demo set, let me right click and add a JSON render. Okay, let me paste the name. I'll remove this extension. It should be exactly same name like the component we are creating there in the front end. And after that is created a one JSON rendering. We have to make sure this component name is exactly same name that we have in a front end application. Okay, let me save it and also let me publish it. Okay, so now it got published. So what I can do is let me add code here first. So what are the codes that I'm going to add? First of all, we have to make sure we have a proper imports for the use context. So what I'll do is let me the existing one. What I'll do, let me just copy some of uh, some of the properties. So I'll copy the imports. So these are the import. I mean, so main thing you have to check here what we are using. We are using the use context from this sitecore.js library. So this is going to play a main role to fetch the context item. Okay, so this we have to understand. And second thing, I mean, on the context item, if I say we don't need these things, okay, so we don't need, so what we can do is, um, we can just make a simple component. So the component, okay, suppose we have a, only to fetch a context item, so we can ignore this. Okay, or maybe what we can do is, let me copy it completely. I'll show you. Suppose, I mean, you are not making any component. I mean, you are not getting data from any data sources or maybe any field. Just your the aim is to get the data from, data from the context item. So what you can do is, I mean, this is how, we write like a context, the Sitecore context. For our case now, it will be our, this. So this is the way we write. You have to just understand it. Okay, this way we'll write. And because we don't have any props, we can just data source check. We have the data source check. We also don't need this for now. So you see what we did is, we're just importing this. Let me show you. We're just using a use context. Okay, from where we are just making a component like constant this, we are initializing the function like this, this JSS component. After that, what we are doing is, we'll console the, this context so that we can see what are the things we are getting from the context. Okay, for now let me write a clean code so that, okay, so it's a very simple component, like we are writing you and this component name JSX. Then this use context we have to initialize here. Okay, so how we are initializing? We are just initializing the use context. From there we are getting context. From the context we are going to get what? We are going to get the context or Sitecore context, then item context or Sitecore context or language context or Sitecore context, site dot name. Okay, so these are the things like we are going to access. Okay, so let's just save it. And this one will assign into the page, sorry, into the there. Okay, so let me go to the demo site. We already added the JSON rendering. Okay, so we don't have to add this again. So now we have to just go to the app, and we can add that on this page, on a blog page. Okay, we can add directly add in this blog page. So what we can do is, maybe we can just open it in experience editor so that we can see. We can dynamically add from the experience editor as well. So what we can do is, let's try to add that on the toolbox. So from there we can get, so I mean this is, you can see like how we are adding the, into the, if we are writing as some component, so how we can add that component to the Sitecore, I mean the headless SXF toolbox. Okay, so it's just a simple component. So to appear in a toolbox, we have to, I mean, to appear in a toolbox, we have to write, we have to add in a toolbox here. So where we add, we go to the presentation. We added already some, this kind of like custom rendering. So we have to add it here. Okay, so we'll add our rendering now. So we'll add our rendering here, like our rendering is in the demo site. It's a name like use context. Okay, now we have to create a one. Okay, let me publish it. Okay, then we have to add the headless variant. So to add the headless variant, I have to create a one headless variant name with the, our, sorry, it must be the same name, the component we have, this component. Let me copy the component name. I'll add it. Okay, so I added. So we have to now add one variant definition. So variant definition will be a default. The default. Okay, let me just publish this one. Okay, now let's refresh it once. Let's see if it is coming in our, so you can see our component is coming inside the toolbox. Okay, so it's easy to drag and drop from here. So what we can do is, we'll try to add that on the main section. So let me click add and add this component. Okay, So you can see the data are coming. What are the data are coming is okay, let me save, and we can publish it from here. Let me open the publishing option. I can publish it from here. Okay, publish. Okay, published. Next, I can access the content from here. So you can see our data is coming. Okay, so from the Sitecore context, what we are able to access, we are able to access Sitecore item, Sitecore language, and its site name. Site name is JSS. Okay, so maybe we can access the page as well. So what we can do, and we have also consoled it. So we, from the console we can try to see what the things we are getting from the console. Okay, so let me show you from here. So from the Sitecore context, what are the things we can get? You can see I can access the item path, I can access the language, I can access this page is editable or not. Okay, page state. Other thing what I can see, I can access the site, I can access the route. Okay, from the route what are the things I can, so I mean Sitecore context give us the whole things. So you can see I can access the database, I can access the fields as well. Okay, I can access the placeholder that I am using, the page I am using, the template I am using. Okay, so suppose let's see the item path. We'll try to find out like how we can find the item path. So what I'll do is I have to do like a Sitecore context, then item path, then it will fetch the page name, okay, or item path name. Let's say I have to fetch the database, then what I'll say like Sitecore context route, then database, okay, or maybe a display name like this, so I can get exactly the page name. Okay, so let's quickly see. So I'll go back here in the page, and what else I'll do is I'll write like this. Okay, let me add one new. What I'll do is now in the Sitecore context dot. Okay, so you can see I'm getting the the option. What are the things that I can get? Okay, so for our case, let me see. We have to get the page name. To get the path, I can directly like a item path. But if I have to get the maybe the page name, what I can do, I have to go to the route. Okay, I have to go to the route, then display name. I can get the display name here. So it would be a page name. I can get the item or item version also. Also the layout ID, or maybe the route name like a blog. It will be a route name. If I'm accessing like a route, then name, then it will access the blog. Okay, so let's see what are the things we can do. So let me go to the route dot name. Okay, so it will show the page name. Page name. Similarly, what I can get is similarly what I have to get next is I must get the path, item path. Okay, item path. Then what I can do is Sitecore context dot directly item path. Okay, So let me go back, and what I can do is dot item id dot item id item path. Okay, item path is not accessible. Okay, maybe this is not accessible. Let's access other things in the fields. Maybe from here, I mean, we can access also the fields. Okay, so for now let's access the maybe the placeholder. So the placeholder, then it must be the main. So in the placeholder you can see how we are getting the data. So I mean, you can get this way as well. What the component we are using. So if you want to access the component name, we can access the component name we are using. Okay, so how we have to use that? We have to use it like Sitecore context, then route, then placeholders, then header main. After that we have to access this one. It is in the array 1. So in array 1 we have to like a component name, then we can access. So maybe we can try. Let me, if we have access. Route dot placeholders, then okay, I mean, we cannot get like that. We have to map it. I mean, we have to do enough for each lead, because after that we can get. So I mean, normally in a dot we cannot get like that. For now we can get a database. Let me get the database. Oh, it must be. So I mean, you understood, right? I mean, how we can see. If you are not able to see, you can just log the value like this, or you can see in the console like what kind of data you are getting. On the base of that, I mean, you can get the data. Okay, so if I go back here, I can see that's how the data we are getting. So I mean, I added the page name, and let me add like a database. It will be a database. So from where, I mean, we are getting the data. So we sorry, database. Okay, so oh, no, it will be here. So Sitecore database, web page name, blog we are getting. Okay, site, and this. So I mean, you understood, right? I mean, how we can get the context item. Get it? So, and also, like how you can add the uh, into the toolbox, how you can add the component into the toolbox, right? Okay, or maybe you can add any atom here, some other, you can just drag and drop the existing one and you can use it. Okay, so it's a very easy. I mean, you can do that. In a page context, we have a title, this you can use. Suppose if I'm using this one there. Okay, let me refresh it. Okay, so it's just a drag and drop. You can just drag and use that. Okay, so let me just show you the another one. This, it was the Sitecore context. We'll see how we can use the with context. Okay, so what I'll do is, let me just duplicate this page. We'll make the similar component. Okay, let me just create a one more component. Will the with context, with sc context dot tsx. Okay, let me just copy this whole thing, but I mean, here we are going to use the some other, I mean, we'll not use this component now, and we are also not going to use this context. We'll use the this one. We'll use the with context. We'll use the with context. We'll replace with context. Okay, it will be just simple component. Let me replace this, this component name, and we'll export the component. Okay, and let me just remove this. It will be set with context with context. Okay, now we are going to use, let me see like how we are initializing there. So we are initializing the props. We are just using our props like this there, and from there how we are using, let's see. We're initializing the Sitecore context, like from there we are going to get. So how we are going to get? So let's see. Now we'll, we'll console this and we'll see what are the things we are getting. Okay, and with the with context, how we are going to export? We are exporting with the with context like this. Okay, we have to remember. Let's see, okay, with context. Okay, so we just make a simple component. It's just like a with context. Then now in a props we are passing a Sitecore context any. From there we are getting the Sitecore context, and we are exporting that with the with context. Okay, so let's see what are the things we are getting. Generally, with context hook is used for to get the the field. We can also get it from the use context hook as well. As we saw, I mean, we are able to get everything from here as well. I mean, we are able to access the all those things from the Sitecore context. We are able to get the what we are able to get about the route information. From the route we can get the anything from like the fields, navigation data, title, anything we can get. So by using the with context, what kind of data we are getting? So let's see. Okay. So first of all, we have to register this component. So let me register this component so that we can add that into the page. So what I have to do is I have to go back here in the JSON rendering part. Let me go to the layout, rendering, project, then the folder demo set. Inside it, I'll create a JSON rendering. With context. Okay, I have to verify the component name should be the exactly same name I have in the front end application. Let me save it and also publish this one. Second thing, if I want to add this from the experience editor, so what I have to do is I have to add that onto the rendering, because we are creating custom rendering there. You have to add a one rendering name like a custom rendering there you can add. Okay, so what you can add is let me add the JSON rendering I have added. I'll go to the project, the demo site. From there we have to add. Okay, so let me add the component we created. So this is the component I created, AC context. Okay, now we have to add a variant, headless variant there. So I have to add a variant. So with context will be the rendering variant name. Okay, so when I am adding, after that I have to add one here, variant definition. So variant definition will be the default, you have to remember, I mean default, always it will be a default. First rendering variant, I mean if you are only creating one component, so it variant will be a default. Okay, so like this you have to create. So I created a default rendering variant. Let me publish this one. Okay, so it got published. Let's see, and we'll try to add. Okay, because we haven't defined anything now, so it will not show any data here. So let's just try to add that component. So now we added what? We added a component name like a with Sitecore context. So we'll add one component here. Okay, is our component added? Let me add somewhere in a. So our component is added like a with context. Now it's coming. Okay, so our variant will be the default one. Okay, let me save it. Because we haven't added anything in the component, you can see we are just adding a with context like this. Okay, so and other thing we are getting nothing from the context now, so it will show only the with context, this one. Okay, so next thing, let me publish this. Okay, it is published. Let's refresh it here. So somewhere here we are getting like a, with context. Okay, so let's see what we are getting, what we can get. Okay, so we have consoled it here, so we'll see what are the things we can get from the context, sitecore.context. Okay, so what I'll do is, let me remove the console from the previous rendering, so that it must not, it must not create the same, that object data in the console. So let me just inspect and let's see the context. You can get that on the terminal as well. Okay, I think we are written the terminal from here, so it will show us here. So let me, you can see, see on a terminal we are running the application from the PowerShell. So you can see all the data is returning like this. Okay, so you can see it from here as well, or maybe you can go to the browser, and from here as well, from the console you can see. So let me see how we are getting. So we are getting like this. Okay, so like atom, then atom path like this. We are getting route, we are getting the site name, route. Okay, so from the with context we are getting like this. It's pretty similar like the earlier we used the use context. So with the with context, you can see there's the with context.tsx. With the with context.tsx, we are getting this. Okay, these are the values we are getting. So what we can, what kind of data we can get? We can get the data like, you know, item id, item name, database we can get, but also we can get the field like route. If I'm going to that field, I can get the field name, field like maybe the title. Okay, blog, we can get the navigation kind of things, anything if it is. Let me just fill up the data here for the blog. I'll write like a blog description. Link navigation. Okay, and let me publish it, so maybe we'll get more data. So you can see in we are getting a route. So from the route we can get the route data like this. We can get the field. Now we are getting the field like the title. This is the title we are getting. The content, the blog description we added. So this is the way we are getting change frequency, this. So we can get this value from the with context, from the with context hooks. Okay. So it's pretty easy, right? I mean, we can get this data. So what I can do is I can just come here. I can write maybe if I have to get you know, now maybe the item path or maybe the route, then field, in the field I can get the title and content and navigation title and this. So let's see how I'm able to access it. So what I'll do is let me do is h1, write h1. So it will be Sitecore context dot this context dot I have to go to the route, then fields, route, then fields dot, well, what I write, I'll write the title it is title, then it is content. Okay, similarly let me remove the content. Let's save it and let's see if we are getting the data. Rendering occurred So it's giving us some issue. So let's see, it must be title then value. Okay, then title then value we have to access is like this. Okay, then we have to write a value. So then it will be a value. Here as well it will be a value. Okay, so you can see now we are able to get, right? We are getting the data now with context. But why we are getting the double? Okay, maybe we added a double component here. So because we added a double component here, so you can see 2 times we added. So how we can delete? We can just click here. It's pretty easy, we can do, right? I mean, I'll go here and okay, we already in this component. So what I'll do is I'll delete one and save it and publish. See, now we are getting the exact data what we want. Okay, so other things as well we can get. You can just see what kind of data it's returning. Based on that, you can get the data. Okay, but these are the context data, so you must be expecting some of the context. Okay, so from the route you can get like this. Okay, so I mean we completed the Sitecore context and use context with context and Sitecore context. So we created the component and we added to the Sitecore toolbox as well, and we are able to use that into the new page like a blog page. Okay, so do you have any question?
No, Prem.
No.
Okay, so if you have no question, then we can wrap up this 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 session, and we'll meet on Monday. Okay.
Okay, Prem. Prem, the recordings and the documents you have mentioned that you will share with us. So,
Okay, yeah, I'll share it. So, are you able to access the recording from this? Are you able to download?
from
So,
the portal or the mail you have sent?
from this, meeting from this Teams.
No, no. From the meeting itself, I'm not able to because once meeting ends, then I mean, I am at least I don't have access to see the
Okay,
recordings or anything.
okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe by tomorrow 12 o'clock, you will get all those things, right? I'll make sure I'll share you. on the, maybe I'll upload on the LMS, or maybe from the mail I'll share you all those details.
Okay, Prem.
Yeah. Okay then. So thank you. Then let's meet on Monday.
Thank you, Prem.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.